What's up guys, this is Balázs from Racing Brick. Today I will build the 21332 Ideas Globe set, and besides reviewing it I will show you how the very cool and interesting inner structure is built. But that's not all. Somehow these things will get used to, so buckle up and let's get started. But before that, a big thanks to StockX for providing this set and sponsoring this video, more about them a bit later. The box is very simple with the usual, let's confess a bit boring, 18 plus black design. We have the globe itself on the front and on the back as well, with some extra details at the bottom, like dimensions and a hint about the glow-in-the-dark tiles. The set has 2,585 pieces, the price is €200 or dollars. There are 17 numbered bags inside and the manual. Adult fans will be happy as we get exactly 0 stickers. In the manual, after the introduction, we get a little history lesson about the maps and globes with some fun facts, then an introduction of the fan designer, afterwards the designers involved from the LEGO team, and a very promising section showing how Technic and system pieces were combined to have the best result possible. A few thoughts about LEGO's sustainability efforts and we can start the build. Phase 1 begins with the base. It grows quickly with these giant round curved elements. Then here's a neat Technic at the bottom with the 1x1 round plates and the rubber tires for extra grip and stability. Here tons of brackets are used for snot building opportunities. We start to cover the base, end of phase 1. We continue adding smooth surfaces with these curved elements. Look at that neat support structure with the telescope pieces. Here are the first two key elements of the arc that will cradle the globe. As you see, they are full of brackets and they are connected to the base with hinges. They are not secured at a specific angle yet. That's the next step with these hinge pieces. The rest of phase 2 is spent with covering those brackets to have a smooth look. Phase 3 already has some repetition. We need to build 5 of these blocks. Once they are ready, the structure grows very quickly. We secure the pieces again with hinges, and here comes the final piece from this phase. Lots of small parts in the next bag used to cover the cradle. At the end, alternating 2x3 and 2x4 tiles are used to cover the hinges on the outside. The end result is a nice brown surface with golden accents. We've got a quite nice and sturdy base, although due to the structure it can still bend inwards without the globe. Time to make the build more exciting. Here are the first Technic pieces. Interestingly, this assembly needs to be mounted in the center of the 6x6 plate. Make sure to pay attention to this. Red half beams to the sides, and now we need to build 6 similar assemblies. As you see, these will form half of the central section of the globe. Well, almost half of it. We still have to add 2 modules similar to the first one. Bag 6 has pretty much the same, with one central piece with yellow half beams and 6 other modules. The ring is complete, and now comes the interesting part with 16 axles and 16 cones. We need to push the axles through the beams and connectors to secure the segments to each other and attach the cone to the end of the axle. It's interesting to see the cone being used instead of a black Technic bush, for example, that we will have in the set later on, as that one seems to be more secure. The reason must be this slit on the piece, since the grey of the axle might be visible this way between the panels instead of the fully black cone. So here's our completed ring at the end of phase 6, it's pretty stable actually. We start to add the details. Make sure to pay attention to the proper orientation at the beginning, otherwise you will have a lot of blue plates to swap. The first glow-in-the-dark printed tiles are added as well. And here's the most interesting core section of the build, using Technic pieces of course. The central assembly is placed in this frame sandwich, then the axles are attached, and here comes this super specific weird assembly with all those mixed parts, including a big green steering wheel. A few connections are secured, and then it's time to put it in the center of the equator, which is a bit tricky. As you see in the manual, there's a little gap next to the hoses, so you cannot push fully in the axles on one side as they will be pushed out on the other side. You need to find a sweet spot to have a circular shape at the end. 2 wheels are added. First I thought they will support the side panels somehow, but as you see they probably won't touch them. Their purpose is more interesting. Can you guess it? Let me know in the comments. Bag 8 has the first slices for the globe itself. We have to build 2 types with different panels on them. They will alternate to form the 2 hemispheres. On the inside you can see how the structure is built using angle Technic connectors and other pieces. The first one to put in place is a big chunk of Africa. The red axle at the bottom connects to the half beams, and the clip on top connects to the steering wheel. Here's the one next to it. You can see how the 2 types of slices fit together. And we will be building these over and over again with some variation on the surfaces. Now that we have half of the sphere, oh boy, it really feels like building the Death Star. So now it's time to add two wheels again and a similar support structure to the other side. And again, a similar exercise to build and mount all slices for the southern hemisphere. We are approaching the end of the build with the last bag. Here are some huge cool printed dishes for the poles. Pay attention, this is technically a bowl and it rolls. Here's the support axle for the top. It's interesting, this is supposed to go all the way in. Now, let's try it again. Now it's okay. And the big moment, mounting the globe on the stand. The last item to add is this little plug for the bottom, and the build is finished. So, before taking a closer look at the finished build, let me share a few words about the sponsor of this video, StockX. I got this globe set from StockX, the newest online marketplace for LEGO collectors and builders. If we take a look at their website, customers are able to buy and sell here the hottest apparel, electronics, sneakers, collectibles, trading cards, and now LEGO sets as well. There are thousands of new and old sets available, as well as hundreds of popular sets below retail price. Here's the globe set, for example. You can see historical sales data by clicking here, and also view the current asks and also the bids with these buttons. You can place your bid, and then wait and see if anyone posts a matching ask. All LEGO sets on StockX are brand new and sealed, they are verified for authenticity and condition, and each and every box goes through a rigorous process in their authentication centers to ensure authenticity. LEGO sets are never sold out on StockX. Here you can find literally thousands of different hard-to-find products at their true market value. StockX provides transparent market pricing and real-time data so that everyone has the same advantage. If you want to give StockX a try, then please use the link below in the description. Now back to the set. The finished build looks awesome, the size is comparable to the usual desktop globes you can buy. There are of course lots of studs all around the globe compared to the smooth surfaces of the stand, but I don't think that's a disadvantage. You really see that this thing is brick built. It spins nicely and it seems to be well balanced. Well, we will do a stress test about this soon. Going back to the wheels you saw inside, I can share their purpose with you. They act as a counterweight to the landmass on the opposite side of the globe, allowing a smoother rotation. The wheels are below the brick-built ship here in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and we have Europe, Africa and Asia on the other side. The glow-in-the-dark elements look pretty cool, they add some extra flair to the build. There are some instructions at the beginning of the book for the handling. It's better to hold the build by the stand with two hands. Well, you can pick it up by grabbing the top, but I really don't recommend that. Otherwise, it seems to be quite sturdy when finished, although if you manage to knock a plate or two off, then it's a challenge to push them back firmly. Now it's time for the real challenge: how fast can we spin the globe? So, here's my manual attempt. It looks pretty fast, but it would be cool to actually measure it. Here is this neat little tool, the Technic Speed Computer, straight from the year 2000. I attached it to the top axle, now let's give it a try. Let's spin it up slowly. Now a bit faster, even faster. Okay, I had 140 rotations per minute for a brief moment, that was the maximum. Well, that's still pretty slow compared to a LEGO motor, so let's try this powered up battery box with the simple medium linear motor. Yeah, that's unfortunately too weak to make the globe spin properly. Now let's try the XL motor. Okay, I have to stop here for a moment with a confession. I did some off-camera tests and using the XL motor was a really bad idea. There's no very speed regulation on this battery box, which means it runs immediately with full power, and well, you can see the result here on the floor and on my table. It made a huge mess and it took me like an hour to rebuild the world. So I will try something different, very different. Here's a Boovies 3.0 Pro unit and a Boovies motor. This beast can run at more than 2000 RPM, but we will operate it through the app and increase the speed gradually. I have cameras all around this time to make sure we capture every moment, so let's go. Okay, so the globe is in a much better shape than previously, although I still have to reattach most of the top section. As you could see in the slow motion replay, the speed computer fell off due to the vibration and that made the whole mess. We had 240 rotations per minute, this means technically 4 days passed on our small world every second. It's very late now, I think I won't try it again, so it's your turn. Can you spin your Lego globe faster than this? Give it a try and let me know how it went. And now let's sum it up. I think this is a very nice and unique display set, does not look like anything I've built previously. The structure is very clever, under normal circumstances it is surprisingly sturdy. Okay, well, what you could see a minute ago were not the normal circumstances. My only concern would be the building process itself. There's a lot of repetition in it. If you don't like building the same assemblies over and over again, then this might not be the best set for you. But of course, if you like the end result, then compromises can be made. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe with notifications as more exciting LEGO videos are coming soon. See you next time, bye bye.